Hello all, I'm supposed to be on holiday, but I've got to deal with Prince Harry, who's in the High Court making an absolute fuss and claiming once again that he's the victim and subjected to inferior treatment. But just to prove that I am on holiday and that I'm in Wales, cameraman John, show my lovely viewers what we've got in terms of the setting. Here we go. There you go, that's not bad, is it? The beautiful hills of Snowdonia. It's about 18 degrees, I would say. I'm developing a mild sunburn. I'm out of breath because I'm no spring chicken. But listen, I've got to deal with this story because Prince Harry has flown 5,000 miles in this continued sort of campaign of poor me. And this time it's about his security. The bottom line is that Harry and Meghan have always been keen to have their cake and eat it. Okay, they suffer from severe cakeism. And it's an illness where you think that you can have everything you want in life. And you know as well as I do that life's not like that. You make choices. There are always trade-offs, but not for this privileged, self-indulgent couple who think the world owes them something. And now Harry thinks he's owed security. The bottom line is that he turned his back on his royal duties several years ago. And when you're no longer a working royal, well, you don't work as a royal, therefore you don't have that professional protection, which is armed bodyguards. And it's not just that, because I think the British people would be willing to pay for his security, because by the way, it is the British taxpayer that will cough up the bill. Then they might consider that a worthy cause if this guy hadn't basically attacked the country. Okay, the rage, the anger, the bitterness from Harry about Britain, about how Meghan was treated by the press, and also how miserable his time was at the palace and how terrible it is to be the king's son. Oh, woe is me. And then, of course, that shocking Oprah interview in which the darkest and most egregious allegations were made about an unnamed member of the royal family. Now, this was so bad, that accusation of prejudice aimed at, we had to speculate, who was it? Was it the Queen? Was it Prince Philip that was supposedly a horrible bigot? And it was a cruel thing to do because there was no way that the royal family had a right of reply. And with no figure being named, that was just going to hang in the air. So this is a couple that haven't just walked away from their royal duties, walked away from their constitutional role. There's no moral case for this security because they've attacked the institution. They've attacked the family. I mean, Harry's book, Spare, was basically, that's game over for his relationship with his brother and his father, because it's just full of horrible gossip, stuff that should never be shared in public, like William and Harry's fight and all the rest of it, essentially characterizing Camilla as the evil stepmother. She's a very nice lady. I know she's not Diana, but that's not her fault, what happened to Diana and everything. So there you go. So that's it. They burned their bridges and now they want the royal protection. And it's interesting because so far this trial has already cost the British taxpayer £500,000. £500,000 has already cost the taxpayers for this rich couple. And it's going to go on. So I want to give you some details of the case because I'm really shocked at some of the language on the part of Harry and Meghan's lawyer. So they say that the couple were forced to step back from frontline royal duties in 2020 because they were not being protected by the institution and subjected to, wait for it, are you ready for this? This is classic Sussex lingo. Inferior treatment. That's right. Just like, do you remember when Meghan said that Archie wasn't a prince because somehow, I don't know, there's some prejudicial reason? Was that, no, constitutionally he wasn't going to be a prince. But she tried to kind of characterize that as, we are second-class citizens. I mean, victimhood is an industry for this couple. So there you go. So that's the lawyer is talking about inferior treatment. How can these multi-millionaire aristocrats who have gilded lives that we can only dream of possibly say that they had inferior treatment? It's a sick joke, actually. So the KC, the lawyer representing Harry and Meghan, is Shahid Fatima, who's been very vocal in the court today. Although that said, how long is she going to last? Because we know that the Sussexes get through staff members like James Corden gets through Krispy Kreme donuts. This woman, she'll be fired by lunchtime because honestly, that's what they do. They don't hold on to staff because they're horrible people, terrible to work for. Meghan an outrageous bully. I believe that there's a group of people who used to work for the couple, and they call themselves the Sussex Survivors Club. There are allegations that Meghan made a grown man cry. Well, of course she would. She's made me cry more than once. I'm on holiday. She's ruining my holiday because of this court case. I've got PTSD. So, by the way, I mustn't fall off this rock. Although, that said, that would be a viral video, wouldn't it? So I'd be going out with a bang. So anyway, there you go. So that's it. The Home Office, who are absolutely rocking it at the moment. If you're watching from outside the UK, that is basically the Department of Homeland Security. That is it is the main arm of government responsible for security within the UK. Okay, the police force, the courts, and the prisons and all the rest of it. So law and order in the UK, which is something we used to have. Two lovely black crows there just flying in tandem. I think they're after the biscuits in my rucksack. Right, so listen, it's important I get this across to you. So the Home Office barrister representing the UK government, who don't want to pay for Harry's security, have said the Duke's appeal involves a continued failure to see the wood for the trees. It makes me so happy to see the Duke humiliated in this way, because he's so up himself. He's so arrogant. Right? He thinks he's some kind of great global leader, doesn't he? He thinks he's the ginger Barack Obama. And he goes to these summits and talks about climate change, which, by the way, he goes to those summits in a private jet, lives in a house with 16 bathrooms. Do me a favor. But anyway, so they've that's the problem with these court cases. Okay, you're exposed. If you go to the courts, then you will be scrutinized. Harry's not used to that, and he'll be so humiliated that the Home Office, the UK government, have said his appeal involves a continued failure to see the wood for the trees. Well, of course they're right, but that's Harry. They got Harry absolutely down. We're back to cakeism. Harry and Meghan want to have the security, the trappings of royalty, but not the responsibilities and not the boring work of opening hospital wings, which, let me tell you, loses its luster after a short time, which Meghan quickly found out. Right? She's in, I don't know, primary schools cutting ribbons, and she's like, I'm not going to do this for the next 50 years, which is why Megxit happened. But that's fine. It's a trade-off. Yes, that's it. Well, basically, just it demonstrates with this desire for security, the same aspect of it is that they have got their royal titles. Why are they the Duke and Duchess of Sussex? Harry and Meghan have left the United Kingdom, they've left the royal family, and they've cruelly attacked it. And I would argue they've libelled it with that accusation of prejudice against one person. I think it's a libel. If I was the king, I'd sue my own son, actually. I would consider it. But so the bottom line is that they've kept the royal titles, but they hate the royal family. Make it make sense. Well, we know why. There's a few million reasons why. Just to fill you in further on this case, the full line is that the Duke and Duchess felt forced to step back from the role of full-time working members of the royal family as they were not being protected by the institution. But they wished to continue their duties in support of the late Queen as a privately funded member of the royal family. Now, that's lies. That's the other thing that the Sussexes have a problem with, right? They have severe cakeism, and they also are pathological liars. How can they possibly invoke the memory of the Queen and speak up for the Queen when she had to live with the fact that there was a book coming written by her grandson that threatened the family and the institution to which she devoted her life? She knew a book was coming, and she was in severe ill health. She passed before the publication of the book. But just think of the sleepless nights the Queen had, knowing that that book was coming and worrying what was going to be in it. A woman that never spoke about her private matters a syllable in 7 decades. And then the prince, for a few $1 million, decides that he's going to write 80,000 words about it. Disgusting. So how dare they mention the Queen and that they wanted to serve the Queen? They attacked the Queen, and some people think that they worsened her health because of the worry she gave them. Have they got blood on their hands? That would be a harsh thing to say, but I don't think you could rule out that what they did to the royal family affected the Queen in her final days. I'll be polite and I'll just say that, and I'll go no further. I'll let you judge it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Reading the comments is always the highlight of my day. I read every one. Your comments are variously wise, interesting, and hilarious. And I just love reading them. So do let me know what you think. Before I go, oh yes, this is unbelievable. So Harry landed from LA on Sunday when the king, his father, was in Highgrove. Now, is it just me, right? If you live in America and your dad is in England, are you not going to visit your dad? Particularly if you haven't seen him for well over a year, and particularly if the guy is battling cancer. How is it possible that Harry hasn't seen the king? How could you do that? I mean, my mother lives in North Finchley, which is 3 miles from where I live. If I'm in Golders Green and I don't swing by, she'll kill me, right? I'll be like, there's a good Waitrose in Golders Green. She's like, you're 5 minutes away, you know. So this guy comes from America, doesn't see his father. And this happened before. I've been doing my research, even though I'm supposed to be on holiday. And in September 2024, attending the Well Child Awards in the UK, Harry did not meet with Charles and William then as well. It's quite extraordinary. What is wrong with the guy? Now, Charles is in Italy today eating pasta, but he was in the UK the day that Harry landed. And Highgrove is not that far from wherever, whatever southeast military base that old Hazza landed in. Why didn't he visit his dad? And I'm shocked and horrified because we don't know how Charles is doing. But let's just say that he's not over the cancer, is it? He's still got cancer. And I mean, if it was me, I'd be on the phone to my dad every day, and I'd be on a plane probably every 3 weeks, wouldn't you? He's got the money for it. I think if my dad was battling cancer, I lived in America, all right, maybe that's monthly. I would make a monthly visit. Because also he hasn't got a job, has he? I mean, he's just quit his charity Centre Barley. And the Invictus Games, well, he's got that. That's annual. That organises itself. And half the military folk can't stand him because he's made it all about him. And when he does the opening lecture, he has a rant about Donald Trump. For God's sakes, get over yourself, Harry. It's democracy. So we're going to wrap this up very shortly. But it's really important that I impart, I think this matters, and I hope you agree, that I can't believe that Harry has not seen his dad. And there is some speculation, okay, offering balance, that maybe Harry, that Charles would not meet him, or that William won't meet him. Well, I'm going to Highgrove. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't require a bloody written invitation. If I'm Harry, I land, I get into a Range Rover, and I drive to Highgrove, and I'm like, Pops, I'm here. Give me 10 minutes. Let's talk. I need a hug, and I want to tell you how much I love you. And I want to thank you for everything that you've done for me. What I don't want to do is attack your parenting skills, which is what you did when you basically characterized your dad as a cold, unloving man. What an amazing father Charles was. Diana was killed in 97, and Charles was a very caring and doting father and loved his boys so much and still does. But he's been punished for it. So there you go. I'm shocked about that. And by the way, also with William. Now, we know that William is beyond angry with Harry. He's apoplectic. But again, if I was the H-bomb, if I was H boy, my husband in Wales, Prince of Wales, H baby. If I was the H-bomb, I would be visiting William as well, and I'd be doing everything I can to love bomb my brother and say sorry. And I go, listen, I've been a monster. I've been terrible. Tell me what I've got to do to fix this relationship with you. All right. And I think William's a decent guy, and I think he'd listen. I know he's angry, but he's a decent guy. I think he'd listen. But of course, he will get no contrition from Harry, no apology, because he's so arrogant. And of course, under the spell of that lady, that woman, that pernicious spouse. I know that's harsh, but I think everything in his life went wrong when he met her. Okay, we're nearly done. Cameraman John wants tea out of a flask, so I better get moving. Oh yeah, so quickly, just in his court case as well, Harry wasn't happy by what he was offered security-wise, because the UK authorities, basically they were still protecting him, but they call it bespoke. They called it bespoke. Now, I'd quite like bespoke, because bespoke means made to measure, doesn't it? But that wasn't good enough for the Sussexes, who called it inferior treatment. And when I said earlier they were lying about how they wanted to serve the Queen, which they didn't, But also, they were lying when they said that they wanted to continue their royal duties but couldn't because of a lack of security. That's not true. They didn't want to open the hospital wings and go to the primary schools and always have to smell fresh paint and eat sandwiches with the crusts cut off. They didn't want that. They were sick of all that. That was boring, especially for Meghan. It wasn't glamorous. She's not a nice person. She doesn't like the public. She doesn't want to meet real people. It's her worst nightmare. She just wants to hang out with, makeup artists, and, she wants to have dinner with the Clooneys. That's her life. That's her dream. Although even the Clooneys have given up on her, and who could blame them? So it's not true. They are pretending that they stepped down, that Megxit happened because of security. That's a lie. They stepped down because they didn't want to do it. Meghan didn't want to do it. By the way, you can't blame Harry for this, right? This is all driven by Meghan. The war on the royal family, the war on the monarchy, moving to Canada, then America, it's Meghan, Meghan, Meghan. And what's the golden rule? Meghan gets what Meghan wants. And it's not about my husband. I don't say his name because you know who I'm talking about. It's H. They call that a humble brag. It's an H brag where you say it but you don't say it. H is my husband. Shh, I didn't say Harry. No. I'm implying it's Harry without saying the words, which is like, oh, really cool and secretly super and hey, I'm still standing. Yeah. So, folks, that's it, really. I think we're good. The last thing I'll say before I go, I'm particularly triggered by the fact that William hasn't seen Charles on visiting the UK. And by the way, you know what he could have done? Because Charles is in Italy now, eating Parmigiano, whatever the hell that is. He could have come a few days earlier. The guy's got nothing on. He's got no schedule. Meghan's quite busy with her disgusting Netflix show and the podcast, which I'll be reviewing in full. He's got nothing. He has got, what does he do? He cleans the pool, right? And descales the kettle from time to time, and the ironing. That is it. When he's released from his underground lair, which is like a dank basement, a kind of Joseph Fritzl style basement. Only Meghan's got the keys. So he could have come. He could have flown on Friday. Don't tell me he's that busy. He could have flown on Friday and spent the weekend with his old man, and he didn't. And the reason why I say that, because it's just on my notes here. Oh yes, the same thing happened at the coronation. He came to the coronation, right, and it was a blink and you'll miss it performance. He was in and out. What he did is he came. He looked really miserable. He was in the cheap seats, which is hilarious. And then the ceremony ended, and bang, he was on a plane back to sunny California, to La La Land, where he's got no friends. And any normal family member, you'd stay and you stick around, and normally, I mean, my family are Irish. If you had an occasion like that, a few pints and a couple of sandwiches and maybe a sing-song. But not that miserable so-and-so, that self-pitying misery guts, the world's least happy millionaire, back on his private jet, writing a speech about climate change on his MacBook Pro. Do me a favour. My husband, H, I call him H. Shh, it's Harry. He's going to prison. I'm going to visit him every day, just like Rose West. Right, listen, we do need to wrap this up. You've got your day to get on with as well. Have I covered everything? Oh yes, well this mad trial is going to go on till Wednesday. So I may have to do another video just to deal with this horror show. But can I just, yeah, I think that'll do us. I just want to say all the best from sunny Wales. It's a beautiful country. And the Prince of Wales is a fine man, and that's William. It's nice that they've got their own prince, haven't they? And it's a beautiful country with lovely, friendly people. I'm staying in Llanberis, which is really nice, in a really lovely little hotel where they're looking after us, and having a great holiday. I miss you all hugely, but I did feel the need for this urgent dispatch. And if I'm able to, and if more things happen with this ridiculous trial, then I will report back. By the way, can I just add one thing, which is just to throw a spanner in the works, I actually think that Harry should have armed cops when he's in the UK. I actually do, because I think he's a target, and I think that he is. It's not his choice. It wasn't his choice to be the king's son. I would say that 95% of you would disagree with me about that, especially Brits who don't want to pay for his security because he's made his bed, he's got to lie in it. I hear you. But unfortunately, I do think that Harry and Meghan and the kids are a target. They're famous people. He is the king's son, and I therefore actually would give him that protection. But what I'm not enjoying is this ridiculous self-pitying trial and this idea of inferior treatment and being a second-class citizen. You're not a second-class citizen, Harry. You're the luckiest man in the world. And I am the second luckiest man in the world because I am in beautiful, sunny Wales. I'll see you next time. Cameraman John, show my lovely viewers where we are, and I'll catch you soon. Bye for now.